gentlemen, greetings and welcome to Casual Discussion, the show where we talk and try to have fun. I'm your host Ezelrix, and today I thought we could use a little bit of happiness. With 2021 barely starting, I've done my annual retrospective on the past year, and might I say, 2020 was a rough year for everyone. But on December 25th, 2020, every single Disney Plus user was blessed with an amazing gift, the latest Pixar movie, Soul. Of course, there was also Onward that I really appreciated, but I'm actually preparing something about this movie, so that's not for today. Then there's also on Netflix the short film If Anything Happened, I Love You. I think anybody should watch this short film. It's 12 minutes, it's on Netflix, and if you don't tearjerk at the end, you're not human. Without being the best movie ever, Soul was my personal favorite movie of 2020, and if I had to rank them, definitely in my top 5 favorite Pixars. Maybe even top 3. The script feels fresh, the animation is gorgeous, and honestly, it's a story that both kids and adults can enjoy. So here's why I think Soul is a gem. And of course, from now on, we're gonna spoil the entire movie. First of all, it's a really refreshing story, and it doesn't dive in cliches. There are differences between a cliche and a trope. A trope is something that is very often used, like for the fact that in superhero movie, the superhero has a super costume, he has superpower, and they fight super villains. But cliches are elements too often used. There's a difference, like for example having a sewer level in a video game or having our main character being the school loser in an heroic fantasy novel. Soul tells the story of a music teacher who dies and ends up in the great before instead of traveling into the afterlife. In the great before, since he was at some point a living person, he becomes a mentor. Mentors' job are to train young souls and give them a spark. A spark is that little piece of individuality that makes every single human being unique. Unfortunately, Joe Gardner, our main character, ends up with 22 as his apprentice. 22 is the most complicated soul in the history of ever. They never got their spark, and they had countless mentors who all failed to give it to them. There you have might seems as a cliche, a tortured master teaching a hard-ass student, like Dumbledore teaches Harry Potter or Obi-Wan teaches Luke Skywalker. The difference here is that most stories that revolve around this trope or cliche tend to focus on the student as the main character, but here Joe Gardner is our protagonist. It's like if in the original trilogy the main character was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, that was a short trilogy. Focusing on Joe instead of 22 as our protagonist allows the film to tell a very original and well-written story. Most great mentor and protege stories generally end with the mentor having learned as much as the student, if not more. John Gregory learned that sometimes it is okay to use the most disgusting part of our aptitude if we end up doing good with them. Morpheus learned that destiny isn't a written path and that most beliefs and values are open to interpretation. Uncle Hiro learned that even though you are struggling with your own demons, setting them aside and helping someone else is often a solution that can manage your life as well as someone else's. Dr. Cox learned that you eventually have to let go of your proteges once you've taught them enough so they can look at you not like a mentor but like an equal. And for Joe Gardner, he learned a lot from 22, and most importantly, he learned the meaning of life itself. Joe is a band teacher, but he always dreamt of being a jazzman, to play with the biggest jazz musician in New York. This is what gave meaning to his life. Unfortunately, life didn't turn out this way for him, but he's truly passionate, and in this world, when somebody is passionate about something, they enter the zone. In the zone, anyone who is doing anything is on pure automatic mode. They're not even thinking about what they're doing, they're fully on the feeling, like if they were on another planet. And it's only during his last trip to the zone, after having seen 22 live on Earth for one day with bright open eyes, that Joe understands the meaning of life. 22 is amazed by Earth. And it's pretty normal that she is. She has the capability of understanding of an adult being, but she also has the life experience of a newly born child. So she's touched by every little amazing detail the world has to offer. After that, Joe plays with a talented jazz woman and realizes that it was its lifelong dream, that he had built up this moment in his head for his entire life, that it was his reason to live. But it was pretty disappointing too. When Gardner finally exits the zone after that, he realizes that he's only a little piece of dust on a floating rock in an almost endless universe. Joe realizes that he had no reason to live and that no one has, but that doesn't mean that life is not worth living. This is high-level philosophy. Many famous philosophers, René Descartes among others, would argue that does life have a meaning and is life worth living are two different questions with two different answers. There are billions of people who lived in history, billions of people whose name no one will remember in a few centuries. These people, they are Mr. and Mrs. Anyone. Unfortunately, these people will eventually be forgotten, but it doesn't mean that they've wasted their lives. Some humans are perfectly happy with a modest life. They don't need the glory, the big house, or the fame. And at the end of the movie, Joe Gardner becomes one of them. Instead of heading to the afterlife, Joe is given a new chance to live, to thank him for helping 22 become a human being. Or any other kind of being, because robots definitely have a soul in the Pixar universe. When asked what is he gonna do with his life, he answers the only reasonable thing to answer to this question at this moment.
I'm not sure. But I do know. I'm gonna live every minute of it.
This is aimed to kids, people who are at the right age to start thinking about what they're gonna do with their future. I honestly think Soul is one of the smartest movies in the entire Disney history. Managing to vulgarize life, death, their meaning, and making them understandable for youngsters and rendering them into a digestible bite was no easy task, but the execution was almost flawless. Of course, it's a kids movie, so Joe resurrects at the end, even though him letting go of life would have been an amazing moment and a very powerful imagery. But honestly, I don't mind because I like the ending either way. The film draws the line between being a kid's product and being a stupid product. A bit like Inside Out, which made me draw all the tears in my body, or The Incredible, which is still today one of my favorite superhero flicks of all time. And of course, it's a Pixar movie, so you know, I laughed along the way and I cried at the end. Also, the imagery is really great, the character design is gorgeous, and the chromatic effect is very efficient. Dare I say, the colors just look perfect. All these reasons make Soul my favorite product of 2020. And being released in this very difficult year, dare I say Soul is a diamond in a coal mine. And you, what's your favorite movie of 2020? Tell me in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell to be notified when a new video comes up. Follow me on Instagram to support my artwork, and if you like what you see, follow the link in the description to my art palette account to purchase some of my best pieces. Share this video with all your Pixar loving friends, and as always, thanks for watching.